Good morning and welcome to Littleton's First Church Unitarian. Welcome to our online service. My name is Mark Bucceri and I serve on the Standing Committee. Here are your Community Matters announcements. So remember, today is the last day for the talent auction at 7 p.m. So please get your bids in. It's wonderful to watch the thermometer increase. That's going really well. Also, we need to evaluate Reverend Lara per her contract. There's a URL in Community Matters. You've also received it through the listserv. That evaluation closes tomorrow. So please click that link and give Reverend Lara some thoughts about how she could be even more awesome. Check out the dates and times for the second session of Spirituality in Uncertain Times. There is a limited spots available, so please sign up. On June 11th, there is an energy medicine study group, so please check that out. Also, there's some good suggested reading from both the racial justice and social justice action groups. I'm excited for today's service. We've got the new members, which is one of my favorite times in the service. We have a premiere video, and we also have the Keeper of the Flame Award. So I hope you enjoy the service. Before I sign off and turn things over, I just want to say this will be my last time as welcomer for a bit. So I want to thank you all for all the great support. When I started this journey, I really didn't know much about our church. I didn't know the difference between the vestibule and the vestry, why people sat in the back, who puts out the candles. So it's been a wonderful journey, and I appreciate everybody's patience and support in this. So with that, I'd like everybody to take a moment, prepare yourself for worship, and enjoy the service.
Good morning, everybody. If you have a gray hymnal, I welcome you to get it out today. If not, the music is going to be displayed on your screen. We are going to be singing 318, We Would Be One. And as a special treat today, Peggy and Carl have recorded themselves singing. And I went into the church and I played this on the organ. So you're going to hear a little bit of organ today. So go ahead and get ready to sing.
call to worship, the words of the Reverend Gretchen Haley. Every little thing that breaks your heart is welcome here. We'll make a space for it, give it its due time and praise for the wanting it represents, the longing for something more, some healing hope that remains, not yet. We promise no magic, no making it all better, but offer only this circle of trust, this human community that remembers, though imperfectly, that sings and prays, though sometimes awkwardly, this gathering that loves, though not yet enough. We're still practicing, after all, still learning, still in need of help and partners, still becoming able to receive all this beauty and all these gifts we each bring. Come, let us worship together. This is the time in the service for lighting the chalice and saying the words of our covenant. And you might notice where I am. This is not a virtual background. I am actually in our sanctuary, and I'm going to light our chalice. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Good morning, welcome again. Another Sunday virtually together. And it's nice to be in the sanctuary, I have to say. I hope you enjoy seeing it. Not the same without you here. But it's still nice to be in here. And I noticed today something I never noticed before, which is that the sanctuary this time of year is by far more hot and humid than the rest of the building. So if it looks like I just got out of the shower, this is actually sweat. So please forgive me. But it's so great to be here, and thank you for joining us. It's been a really intense couple of weeks in the United States between the pandemic, which is of course ongoing, and between that and the interesting and in some ways truly wonderful things that are happening amidst the horrible things that are happening. I'm referring to the hope offered by people standing up for Black lives and saying together in groups of incredible size and diversity that Black lives matter. The sadness being that we still have to say that. So it's been an intense couple of weeks, but I have some hope, and I will be saying a little bit more about that later on today. We have a lot to do, so I should stop my talking and just do a few quick thank yous. Thank you again to our own Reverend Jackie Clements for giving such a wonderful service last Sunday. So appreciated that. Thank you to Mike Pillman for the technical stuff. And, I feel you with the delays on loading things up. It can be so stressful on this end of things. So I so appreciate you being willing to take that on. I want to thank Chris Ursuline, as always, for doing our Community Matters and keeping the office going and so much else behind the scenes. All as a volunteer, mind you. I want to thank Mark Bucceri for doing our Community Matters and welcome this morning. We're really going to miss you doing that, and we're really going to miss you on the standing committee. Thank you for that ministry and service. And thank you to our other off-going standing committee member, who is Leslie Whitehouse. We are really going to miss you. You guys have been awesome. Leslie was the co-chair for the last couple of years since I arrived here. So the standing committee just won't be the same. And I thank you again for your service. And thank you, Molly and Peggy and Carl, for that lovely opening hymn. And with that, I think I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful Director of Religious Education, Vicki Merriam, for our Time for All Ages.
Hi.
Good morning, Vicki.
Good morning. Nice to see everybody in those photos. Those are wonderful. I want to second the thank you to Mike, especially because I keep giving him stuff to do and he keeps doing it graciously. Thank you, Mike. Today, we are looking at our 6th UU promise, which is insist that we work together to create a world that is peaceful and fair to everyone. And the symbol is the indigo dove. Now, we're going to expand that to the whole idea of rainbows. The blue promise comes from the 7 rainbow promises that echo our UU principles. And now we're going to start. Mike has some photos for us. Rainbows are symbols of many things. I'm just looking at them all. Our UU promises, hope, God's promise to Noah, and gay pride. My story today is about this particular rainbow symbol for gay pride. I'm going to tell you a true story that appeared in Reader's Digest titled Unflagging Love. One August, Carl and Lori Riding came home to find their rainbow flag had been stolen and their house egged. You see, the flag is missing there. Anti-homosexual vandalism wasn't at all what they expected in their close-knit, family-friendly Natick, Massachusetts neighborhood. As it turned out, it wasn't what their neighbors expected either. Next photo. Why don't we all have the flags? They can't take them from all of us, the neighbors agreed. And within days, rainbow flags, the symbol of gay pride, was flying on over 40 other homes in the neighborhood to show support for Carl and Lori and all of their friends. That looks so nice. Within days, one person's act of fear and maliciousness created such a powerful statement of love, said Lori. Love wins, we win. And I've written a little haiku about the 6th principle in particular. I'm hoping to do haikus with the kids later this week in our Zoom meeting. So here it is. It's about creating a peaceful and fair world for everyone. A blue dove flies above, a rainbow surrounding it. Peace, fairness for all. And before I go to the kids, maybe someone remembers, gave this to me a few years ago. I've had it ever since. I love it. It's a rainbow sand in a shell jar with a beautiful shell on top. I love it. If you gave it to me, tell me who you were, because I can't remember. So let's see. We've got Tatum's kids. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
It's nice to see you, Liza. I didn't see you on Wednesday. Do we have more kids? Oh, good. We have, who is that, Julia or Lainey?
Lainey.
Lainey. Yeah, that's what I thought. I always like to make sure. Do we have any other kids? I wonder if Fergus is here. Love to see Fergus. Maybe in a little bit. So how are you?
Good.
Yeah, good. Certainly got cold, didn't it? Yesterday I was swimming. I don't think I'm going swimming today.
No.
No,
It started raining here in Maine yesterday a lot.
It what?
We didn't get to go outside to the beach.
Because of the thunder and lightning?
There wasn't any thunder and lightning. It was just rain here.
Oh, we had a big thunderstorm here. Anyway, what would you like to share? Anybody? Lainey, do you have something you like to share?
No.
No? Oh, Riley, I see your hand. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, Black Lives Matter. Wonderful. Did you make that?
Yeah.
And I see it's got tape on it. Do you have it taped up to your window for people outside to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. Thank you for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have something they want to share? Maddie?
Not really.
No. Liza, do you have anything you want to share? No. All right. Last week at our meeting, we talked about the idea that everybody should have a home and a safe place. So I like that sign you made, Riley, because it says that too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look who's here, Fergus. Fergus, I haven't seen you in such a long, long time. Hi. I'm so happy to see you. How are you? Are you good? I think you're muted.
No.
No, okay. How are you?
Gotta speak up.
Good, thanks.
Good thing. Okay. How have you been doing? What have you done anything special lately?
I think I have. So
Sometimes it's hard to.
okay, so when I was doing schoolwork, one of them was like some superhero math, and yeah.
Wow, superhero math. I bet you're good at it. It's so nice to see you. It would be lovely if you joined me and the other kids at our kids Zoom meetings on Wednesday. Maybe we'll see you. Are you getting my mail and stuff? Did you get it?
I think I got something from you.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Yeah.
Probably
The
a
sheet.
couple of things.
With the chalice, with the.
No, something else. Thanks.
Do you have anything else you want to say? Anybody?
Have a good week.
Have a good week. Have a good week.
Have a good week. Thank you. You too. We'll see you on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Vicki and all the kids. It was so nice to see your faces. Miss you guys. And hope you're finding ways to learn and have some fun too. This is our time for our offering. This is a chance for you to make an offering to support the good works of First Church Unitarian. And if you wish, during the offertory, you could write a check to First Church Unitarian. You could mail it to us at 19 Foster Street, Littleton, Massachusetts, 01460. Or you could go to our website to get that information also. The website address is fculittle.org. And there's also a button there in the top right if you want to donate online. And you might consider making an offset for the fees if you donate online. But in any case, we are so grateful for any treasure that you share with us. And now is a special treat for our offertory, which is a world premiere video. And I really think of it that way because I think once this is taken out of the service and put up on YouTube in its own right, I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy watching it. You'll hear the audio is our own church choir singing Spirit of Life, as directed by Molly Lozeau. And the video is our own Lorinda signing along. And we've talked about wanting to learn how to sign this. So here it is, our world premiere video.
Sing
Isn't that beautiful? The choir sounds amazing, and the way Lorinda does that, just, it's gorgeous, and I'm definitely going to try to learn it. In just a moment, we have something else really special for you. As you heard Mark say, this is New Member Sunday, and I asked the latest members, the latest people to sign our book as members, to make just a short video introducing themselves in any way they wanted to and saying briefly why they decided to join now. And so here are our new member introductions.
Hi, I'm Pedro. I'm originally from Portugal. I'm a lifelong atheist who's been living in the US for about 6 years. And I joined the First Church Unitarian because it's a place that I found that shares a lot, if not all, of my values. This is my wife, Jennifer.
Yep, I'm Jen, and I was raised Catholic, so I come from a different place than Pedro, but also found a real home with First Church Unitarian. We have a son, Fergus, and for me, I wanted Fergus to grow up thinking about things bigger than himself and justice and some of the things that I think that we're all thinking about a lot these days, and to be part of a community that cares so much about that and works for that is a wonderful thing, and we're really happy to be new members.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Peggy Britton. I've been coming to FCU for over a dozen years now. At the time I started to come here with my family, my primary purpose was to have a place of worship that all of my family could be comfortable in. And Carl had already joined the church, and my children weren't happy where we were going, and I felt it was important to join them and try out FCU. You might wonder why it's taken me so long to sign the book, and there's not one clear reason. I've always felt welcomed. I've always been active in the music here at FCU, and it's really felt like a community. I think the real reason that I've decided to sign the book now has two arms, two wings to it. One is that I've felt more and more in the last year in particular the deep connection that everyone in the community has for me and my family, particularly with the way that everyone has reached out to support Carl as his mobility issues have gotten more and more challenging. It's been really clear on a personal level how much everyone cares individually. I've also, in the last few years, started to take part in the talent auction. Can't believe it took that long. And I've gotten to know more people more intimately through those house parties and activities that I've done, and it's made me feel more connected. And finally, I think the real reason is that for a long time, I didn't feel as though FCU was my spiritual home. And I don't think it was anything to do with FCU or the people here. I think it was something in me that was trying to connect my spirituality with what I had grown up with. And what's happened over the last few years is that my spirituality and my sense of spirituality has shifted to be more in line with what is true of Unitarianism and Universalism. So I felt like it was time to make a commitment and to acknowledge my feeling of community and spirituality here at FCU.
Hi, this is Jackie Clement. It seems funny to think of myself as a new member 30 years after first joining FCU, but it's certainly easy for me to tell you why I chose to renew my membership when I retired. When John and I were thinking about where to move next after our adventure in Illinois, it seemed natural to come back to Massachusetts, and FCU was a big part of that. In a way, membership in FCU was why I was away for 20 years, because this is the community that nurtured me into ministry and then sent me out to serve the wider UU movement. I don't think that it's a stretch to say that FCU can change your life. This community is the very embodiment of what a religious or spiritual community can be at its best. It's an example of what a committed group of thoughtful people can achieve in the world. But it's also just a really fun place to be. So I guess simply I would say that I am here and I choose to be a member of this community because you are my people.
Hello, my name is Ann Donald, and I'm married. My husband's fairly allergic to any kind of organized religion, so probably won't see him on any Sundays. I spent my growing up years trundling between America, Far East, Southeast Asia, and then spent an awful lot of time traveling from one state to another particularly during the earlier part of my career. As I got older, and particularly once I've retired, but finding a community became more and more important to me. And I do remember I was talking to Alan Bell and complaining that I really hadn't found what I had wanted, which was that sense of belonging in a community, probably complicated by the fact I'm fairly shy. He suggested First Church. Before I even walked in the first day, Joel Ross was very welcoming. And so the two people to either blame or thank. And then, of course, there's just the rest of you all. It's such a vibrant, warm, and loving community. And I'm so very, very happy that I've joined. Thank you.
I'm Skia, Laurence, and this is Tesla the Wonder Dog. And I signed the book because I fell in love with you and because you inspire me to share the best I can do, even when I think that might not be good enough.
In this old world, we will face many dangers. We're weary with our toils and cares, and in our hearts we know that fear's no stranger to cherished dreams. We're also holding there. I wish that you could cry upon my shoulder, drying my tears, myself I'd stronger be. No, I can't cross the distance that's between us. Still with this tune, I send you love from me.
Hang in there, guys. It's so much more fun to make music when you're with me. Love you all.
Hey there, this is Dave McManus, and this is my new member confessional. I think that's what we're calling these. Is that right, Laura? Confessional. I don't know. I did not grow up Catholic, so I've never gone to confession. I probably should have at some point in my life, but I grew up in a Jewish household. At least my mother was Jewish, and so I did grow up going to temple, as we called it, or synagogue. I had a bar mitzvah at age of 13, and I think since then I've maybe been inside a synagogue 5 times at most. And no real particular reason for that, I suppose, other than just the mere fact that my mother gave me the freedom after my bar mitzvah to choose what I wanted to do for religion, and that was my path, not to go back. Never really been much of a conformist, I suppose, which I think maybe is why I fit in so well at FCU and with the UU community. So I think, there was a question or, the purpose for this as to just explaining why I joined the FCU membership. And the message there is pretty simple and straightforward. We've been coming to FCU, me and my wife, Kristen, now for a few years. Her more so than me, for sure, which I think is pretty typical. Joel Ross told me at one point. And, maybe some point, in the early part of this year, I was sitting there at a service and, it really struck me, the incredible community that there is at FCU. And then I looked in the pew in front of me. Is it called a pew? Again, I'm not sure about these things, but there was this thing sitting there, right? Seen it a bunch of times, never really looked at it. I opened it up. It says, "We, the member congregations of the UU Association, covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the right of conscience and the use of democratic process within our congregations and in society at large, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and finally, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part." I read that and I said, yeah, I can get down with that. So that's why I joined FCU. So happy to be with you all.
Thank you, everyone. Those were so great. I loved that we had the unique perspectives of all those new members. It was really wonderful. When we're in person, we do a new member litany to welcome the new members, and we're going to do that today now too. So I'm going to wait for folks to go ahead and put their video on so that we all appear here together. Those of you at home, you can read along the parts for the congregation. Those were in this week's Community Matters. They are also in the email that you got this morning. And for good measure, I have it on the virtual screen behind me when we get to the congregation's part 2. So hopefully one of those will get you through. Do we have all of our new members here? Oh my gosh, I think we actually do. Do we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who are we missing? Wait, no, we got Dave. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we have everyone. That's awesome. Okay, guys, so you can go ahead and put your audio on and get ready. It starts with a meow. It starts with words that I'm sharing with you. Friends, we welcome you this morning to full membership at First Church Unitarian. By signing the membership book, you have indicated your intent to continue to share your time, talents, and treasure with the congregation as you are willing and able. You've also indicated that you will now take on the responsibility of congregational governance. You will help to determine with your votes the course that we will chart together. You will be challenged to share honestly and openly your opinions, always with respect and charity for differing points of view. Above all, we are challenged to make decisions that put our convictions to work. In joining this congregation, do you embrace this responsibility and rise to this challenge?
We do.
Wonderful.
Will you welcome these friends to our congregation?
This is our congregation's part.
We will. We will.
Oops.
We welcome you. Please join me. We welcome you with joy into the sacred bonds of membership. We welcome you with love into the life of this community. We promise to be with you in times of joy and sorrow. We honor your search for truth and meaning. We will walk with you as together we seek truth and love as we serve one another and our wider human community.
And now we say both new members and congregation together.
May we continue to grow together in wisdom and love, as individual seekers and as one congregation, connected to those who came before us and those who will come after us. We commit ourselves anew to the sacred work of serving our mission and sharing our ministry.
Yay! Yay!
Hey.
Welcome, everyone. It's so wonderful to have you all with us as new official full-fledged members. And thank you for making those videos and for joining us on Zoom. It's just so great to have you here. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over for the next exciting thing. We had 3 exciting things. This is the third, which is our Keeper of the Flame Award.
Almost. We're going to play a song now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got so excited about the Keeper of the Flame that I almost forgot our next hymn, as you can see, 1053. Take it away, Molly.
Exactly. Thank you. It's a tradition to sing "How Could Anyone" for new members and for any other special occasion like this. So if you have a teal hymnal, you can go ahead and get it out. If not, Mike is going to play a video of the recording, and it has the words on the screen that you can follow along, and you are more than welcome to sing as loud as you'd like.
All right, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, choir and Molly, for making that recording. That's a great song. Welcome again, new members. Okay, now we're at the third, well, it's the fourth or fifth exciting thing actually this morning, which is the announcement of the Keeper of the Flame Award. And I'm going to invite our head deacon this year, Lynn Courtney, and our standing committee member, Laura Semple, to make this year's award presentation.
Good morning. My name is Lara Semple, and I serve as a member of the Standing Committee. It's my honor to, what I want to call, set the stage for the revealing of the Keeper of the Flame. When we met earlier this week, we usually do this later in the year, but we thought, you know what, this makes so much sense to reveal this wonderful award on Membership Sunday. Because when you think about it, this year's Keeper of the Flame was once a new member. And for those of us that have been hanging out at FCU for a long time now, have watched our Keeper of the Flame this year do some amazing things. And it just seems really poignant to us to have it on a new member recognition Sunday, because I'm sure there are many Keeper of the Flames in this amazing bunch. And it's just going to be so wonderful to be a part of this journey for all of our new members. So I share with you that the list of nominees was amazing, with extraordinary talents and gifts given to FCU. So we just want to thank you so much for participating, but for also being a part of this journey and making a difference with what the Keeper of the Flame does. So I am going to turn this over to Lynn Courtney now, who will reveal the wonderful news.
Thank you, Laura. One of the people who nominated Chris Ursuline as Keeper of the Flame said, and I quote, "Chris, as a sole contributor, is worthy of the award, but Chris also has a way of magnifying what the rest of us do to make the results greater than the sum of the effort," close quote. That speaks volumes about the kind of leadership that Chris shows. I'm reminded of something Marjorie Harvey, herself a Keeper of the Flame in the past, recounted years ago about leadership. She said that when we see geese flying across the sky, we focus on the lead goose at the point of the V, but there's also a kind of sweep role played by one or more geese at the tails of the V, encouraging stragglers and making sure no one is lost. She called that kind of leadership honking from behind. During her many years of service to FCU, Chris has demonstrated both kinds of leadership, the kind that is out in front, visible to all, such as her leadership of the Board of Deacons, and the kind that honks from behind, encouraging all in our flock to find the place at FCU that is meant for them, and facilitating their participation at whatever level works for them. I've watched her involve so many people in a multitude of activities and projects that sustained and nourished them while sustaining and nourishing our community. So much of what Chris does is behind the scenes that you might not be aware of the great extent of her contributions to our church. Chris's many years of service to FCU contain too many roles to list separately this morning, so I'll just mention a few highlights. Her longtime participation in and leadership of Neighborhood Supper, years of service on stewardship, a stint as an assistant treasurer, being a founding member of the Multicultural Task Force, now the Racial Justice Action Committee, leading Jammin' in the Kitchen, serving as a deacon, including 2 years as senior deacon, and most recently volunteering, as Lara mentioned earlier, to take up the mantle of office administrator, where her exquisite attention to detail, which she brings to all of the work I've mentioned already, has truly kept the flame alive in this challenging time. I had planned events with Chris at FCU, cooked with her for countless meals here, jammed with her in the downstairs kitchen, knitted with her, and benefited from her wisdom in confronting conflict or distress. I can attest to the fact that Chris is calm and unflappable in the face of either crisis or happy chaos. Beyond that, she exudes a quiet joy in all of the work she does for and with us. But if I had to choose one word to describe her leadership, it would be generosity. In any situation, her impulse is always to draw a bigger, more generous generous, more inclusive circle. Thank you, Chris, for being our keeper of the flame. Thank you.
Congratulations to Chris Ursuline, so well deserved. And after I'll say a few words this morning, but not much for the sake of time. I'll give a benediction. Molly will play a postlude, and then we're going to meet over at our Joys and Concerns Zoom, where Chris can accept some of your congratulations, and Chris can say a few words if she wishes in acceptance. But no one is more deserving than Chris. She does it all. So congratulations again, Chris. Thank you for everything. I wanted to say just a few words before I go into our benediction. So this has been, as I alluded to earlier, a very intense time. Last year on New Member Sunday, I started by asking you, what do you long for? What do you long for? And I think a lot of us thought of things like a great trip, or a really relaxing getaway, maybe a spa day if we can do things like that, maybe time at the beach, up in the mountains, what have you. But I thought about it and I thought, what do I long for this year? And it's funny, what I long for this year, in part, is exactly what I had last year when I asked the question, which is I long for these, yes, they are called pews, Dave. I long for these pews to be filled with you rather than just pictures of you. I long for us to be together in the sanctuary again. I long for us to be able to get in our circle and hold hands again for our benediction. I even long for the happy chaos of that slightly too small vestry and coffee hour where we catch each other and give each other hugs. That's what I long for this year, just what I had last year. That struck me as a profound thing in and of itself, reminding me to be grateful for what I do have this year, which is not that, but I still have a lot. And we still have each other. I still have you, you still have me, we have each other. Right now, a lot of it is virtual, but we still have each other, and we can still do so much good in this world together. I was so happy yesterday to see so many of you on the Littleton Common for a Black Lives Matter protest organized independently by a local young woman. And that was heartening to see. It reminds me, Dorothy Day, co-founder of the Catholic Worker Movement, talked about people wanting a sense of belonging. We long to belong. She talked about something she called the long loneliness. And the long loneliness is that feeling of somehow being disconnected. We long for connection. Sometimes connection looks like prayer or meditation. Sometimes connection looks like communing with nature or the creation, if you will. But sometimes the best way, the best antidote for the long loneliness is doing something together that takes you outside of yourself, doing something for the greater good, doing something for a cause bigger than yourself. And that's the opportunity we have, as always, and we have that opportunity now. So I invite you, if you can today, to join the Greater Littleton Interfaith Council's vigil. It will be from 2 to 3 p.m. this afternoon near the Common. Start off at the First Baptist Church and have a vigil for Black Lives Matter. In particular, Black clergy in and around Boston are having an event today, and we gather in solidarity with them to draw some attention to that. And I want to remind you too that even though we're in a suburb, there are ways that we can make our own statements here. So we have had, for years, since I have known you, we have had in front of our building, somewhere in front of our building, this Black Lives Matter lawn sign. And it does make a statement, and if you think that no one ever sees it, I know that they do, because when this pandemic started, and I was one of the few people coming into the building at all, somebody had vandalized that Black Lives Matter yard sign in a way that probably would only happen in the suburbs, I have to say, with this. This is a very neatly done awl, probably done from the comfort of someone's own home, and lots of packing tape on it, and they had sort of neatly taped this word all so that it covered up, I can't do the camera right, so that it covered up the black. They put the all over the black to make it all lives matter, which of course we know all lives matter. That misses the point. The point is we don't treat Black lives like they matter. So all lives won't really matter to society until Black lives matter to society. In any case, my point being that we still have a role to play. Consciousness needs to be raised everywhere, including right here. And so hopefully I'll have something to share with you next week about even more that we can be doing. But for now, I will stop my remarks. I will put on the normal background here. Sorry for the awkwardness of this always. And we will have, in fact, our benediction. And I do hope, in addition to seeing you in a moment for joys and concerns, I hope I'll see some of you who feel safe to show up with masks, standing at a safer social distance at the common, 2 to 3. So I invite you, since we can't be in a circle holding hands, I invite you to either hold hands of somebody who's there with you, or clasp your own hands to feel the warmth, put it to your heart, and imagine that you are here with some of your beloveds in this sanctuary as we have our benediction. Friends, these are challenging times, but we know that we can work together with others to make a better world. It's always our goal. Now is always the time to make a better world. Today, we welcomed new members into this wonderful community, and we thanked one very special longtime member too, reminding us of the wonderful space that this can be for bringing each other into a circle of love and trust and compassion. Together, may we let that circle of love and trust and compassion grow and grow. May we be a part of something greater than ourselves here at the church together, and also beyond these walls, beyond our virtual walls, reaching out with love and compassion to the world. I close with some favorite words of Dorothy Day, co-founder of the Catholic Worker Movement. Some of her favorite words were words of St. John of the Cross, who said, "Where there is no love, put love, and you will find love." May it be so. Blessed be, and amen.
I just wanted to mention quickly that the postlude today is called Troubled Waters, and it's by Margaret Bonds, Bonds. And if you like what you hear, I highly recommend you checking out some more of her music. She was writing in the mid 1900s, like 1930s through 1970s. And she went to Northwestern University and studied at Juilliard, and was very active in composing and performing. And again, this piece is Troubled Waters by Margaret Bonds.